A billionaire was strolling through the streets of New York City when he noticed a young girl sitting alone on a bench. It was lunchtime, but instead of eating, the girl was staring sadly at her empty lunchbox. Moved by her despair, the billionaire decided to do something nice for her. But he had no idea what he would find out about the girl, and the contents of her lunchbox would change his life forever. New York is one of the most iconic cities in the world. People from all over come to visit this place because it has so much to offer. People can visit different neighborhoods and immerse themselves in a variety of cultures. They can watch Broadway shows, visit art museums and galleries, or check out famous landmarks. And let's not forget about the food. There are thousands of restaurants serving delicious meals from every corner of the planet. One day, a very rich man was walking down the street when he saw a little girl sitting alone on a nearby bench. She seemed sad and lonely, and the man wanted to know if he could help her. As he got closer, he noticed that she was looking down at her empty lunchbox. He stopped to ask her if everything was okay, and the girl looked up at him with tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry," she said, "but I don't have anyone to buy me lunch." She explained that she didn't have enough money to buy herself food, and that was why she was sitting there hungry. The man was shocked to hear her story. He couldn't believe that a child would be left to fend for herself without any money or food. He felt bad for her and wanted to do something to help, but he wasn't sure what. He thought about giving her some money so she could buy herself something to eat, but then he realized that might not be the best idea. He didn't want her to end up spending the money on something else, or worse, falling into the wrong crowd. He wanted to make sure that she actually used the money to take care of herself. After thinking for a moment, he decided to come up with a different plan. He told the girl that he was going to take her to his car so they could drive somewhere together. She looked at him with suspicion, but eventually agreed. When they got to the car, he explained that he wanted to take her to a restaurant where she could get something to eat. But before they left, he asked her to open her lunchbox so he could see what was inside. The girl hesitated, but eventually opened the box. The man looked inside and couldn't believe what he saw. The lunchbox was filled with books. Instead of food, the girl had brought a collection of books to school. The man was shocked. He couldn't believe that someone, especially a child, would go hungry in order to read. He felt terrible for not realizing that this was what was going on, and he immediately apologized to her for not understanding her situation sooner. He told her that he wanted to make sure that she never went hungry again, and that he would personally make sure that she always had enough food to eat. The man was deeply moved by the girl's story. Her dedication to education despite her difficult circumstances inspired him. He couldn't imagine having to go through such hardship just to learn. He realized that he had been incredibly fortunate in life, and that he had a responsibility to give back and help those less fortunate than himself. From that day forward, the man made it his mission to take care of the girl. He paid for her education, bought her new clothes, and made sure that she had plenty of food to eat. He also introduced her to other members of his family, who were just as moved by her story as he was, and they all pitched in to help. The girl was incredibly grateful for the man's kindness, and she never forgot the day that he had come to her rescue. As the years passed, the girl grew up knowing that she was loved and supported by a family that truly cared about her. She excelled in school, eventually graduating top of her class and going on to pursue her dream career. The man watched with pride as she grew into a successful young woman, and he knew that his decision to help her all those years ago had been the right one. But as the years passed, the man never forgot the day he had met the girl and the powerful lesson he had learned from her. He continued to use his wealth to help others in need, and he became known throughout the city for his generosity and compassion. People would often stop him on the street to tell him about acts of kindness he had done, and he would just smile and say that he was just trying to pay it forward. One day, the now grown-up girl decided to visit the man she had not seen for many years. She wanted to thank him again for all he had done for her, and to let him know how much his kindness had meant to her over the years. But when she arrived at his house, she was shocked to find that he wasn't there. His family told her that he had passed away a few months earlier, but they were happy to tell her that he had left behind a large donation to be used for helping children in need. She was deeply saddened to hear that he had passed away, but she was grateful that he had lived a life full of purpose and meaning. As she stood in his house, surrounded by the many mementos of his life, She came across an old lunchbox tucked away in a corner. She opened it and found that it was filled with books just like it had been all those years ago. She went to the family and asked them if they knew anything about this. They told her that it was just something he had kept from that day, a reminder of the powerful lesson he had learned from her. The girl was deeply moved by this discovery. It was a tangible reminder of the impact she had had on the man's life and the legacy of kindness and compassion that he had left behind. She knew that he would never forget the day they had met, and the valuable lesson she had taught him. The girl was deeply moved by this discovery. It was a tangible reminder of the impact she had had on the man's life, and the legacy of kindness and compassion that he had left behind. She knew that he would never forget the day they had met, and the valuable lesson she had taught him. From that day on, the girl made it her mission to pay it forward, helping as many people as she could and always remembering the importance of treating everyone with kindness and respect. As the years passed, the girl became a successful businesswoman and a respected member of the community. She used her platform to advocate for children in need and to promote education as a means of empowerment. She never forgot the days of hunger and hardship she had endured as a child, and she worked tirelessly to ensure that other children did not have to go through the same struggles. One day, while visiting a local school, she overheard a group of students talking about how they hated school and wished they could just drop out and do something else. She stopped to listen in, and what she heard shocked her. The kids were complaining that they didn't want to study because they had no books at home. They didn't have enough money to buy their own. The girl was deeply saddened to hear this, but she knew that she had to do something. She went to the principal and offered to donate books to the school library, but the principal shook his head and told her that wouldn't be enough. "We need more than just books," he said. "These kids need hope. They need to see that someone cares about them and their future." The girl thought for a moment. She knew that the principal was right, but she wasn't sure what to do. She didn't have a lot of money, but she did have something else to offer: her time. She told the principal that she would spend time with the kids after school, helping them with their homework and providing them with the support they needed to succeed. The principal was thrilled. "That would mean so much to these kids," he said. "They need positive role models in their lives, and you're exactly what they need." The girl was nervous, but excited to get started. When she first met the kids, she was shocked by their apathy and lack of hope. Many of them had given up on school and believed that their lives had no value. But the girl was determined to make a difference. She started by simply listening to the kids, hearing their stories, and understanding their struggles. She provided them with the emotional support they needed and helped them to believe in themselves again. As the weeks passed, the kids began to open up. They started sharing their dreams and aspirations with her, and she encouraged them to pursue their passions. She organized after-school activities, invited guest speakers, and created a sense of community among the students. The girl was amazed by the transformation she witnessed. The kids went from being apathetic and hopeless to motivated and eager to learn. One day, while working with a group of students, the girl noticed that one of them was struggling to read. She sat down with the child and asked what was wrong. The child looked up at her with tears in his eyes and said, "I don't want to be stupid." The girl was taken aback by the child's words, but she knew that she had to respond in a way that would help him. She put her hand on his shoulder and said, "You're not stupid. You just need a little extra help." The child looked at her with suspicion, but eventually agreed to let her help him. The girl worked with the child every day, patiently helping him to read and write. She celebrated his successes, no matter how small, and encouraged him to keep trying when he struggled. Slowly but surely, the child began to improve. His reading skills developed and his confidence grew. One day, the child came up to the girl and said, "Thank you for helping me. I'm not stupid." The girl smiled and said, "You're not stupid. You're smart and capable, and I believe in you." The child beamed with pride as he realized that he could achieve anything he set his mind to. The girl continued to work with the child and the other students, helping them to reach their full potential. She knew that her efforts were making a difference in their lives, and she felt a sense of fulfillment and joy that she had never experienced before.